Yeah, excited about the win today. Obviously, the story of the night certainly was the ball handling and ability to take care of the ball, but also the shot making. Certainly starting out with Kwani, his teammates, coaches, everybody involved was just so excited for him. He's had a rough start, to the season. Not the start that he envisioned for himself. And the cool thing about tonight for him, or today for him, was that he stuck with it the entire time. He's never let that the start kind of crush his spirit, crush his confidence, crush his willingness to continue to get in the gym and work. He stayed with it every single day, and even days where he didn't shoot it well in a game, he's gone back to the BDC and started to shoot after the game. And so it's a great lesson, certainly for me as a coach and for all of us, it's like you just have to stick with it. And, he certainly has. And eventually the shots will go down. He's certainly not a 0% shooter, regardless of what had happened tonight. And, for him to see the ball go in the basket and for his teammates to respond the way that they did once the ball did begin to go in the basket for them, that's what being on a team's all about. And it's a pretty cool thing. So we were all excited for him. Most importantly, though, we were excited that we were able to get a win. It's hard. We challenged the guys, over the last few days after the Memphis game. We've had two really tough, hard losses, both different reasons, where we've come back in that locker room and been dejected in a lot of ways and searching. And, I think our guys really did a nice job of responding and trying to play, a cleaner, 40-minute game. And I thought our guys, this is not an easy team to play against, not an easy situation to be in, with the start that we've had, to this season. But the guys have come in with tremendous spirit, tremendous energy every day, and have kind of had blinders on, which is what you have to do in this type of situation. But happy to take any questions.
You stuck with Kwani in the starting lineup. Was that about trying to maintain confidence for him through the slow start to the season?
Yeah, certainly. And you can do it both ways, though. I mean, you can take him out and take pressure off, but when you take somebody out, you're changing somebody else too. And so it was more about, okay, these other guys are filling into roles nicely. A guy like Fats, right? Jay Nell coming off the bench. Even Toby coming off the bench and doing some big things, for us. And I love a strong bench. Any coach wants a strong bench. And so, we know Kwani's a good player. He hasn't played his best, so far this season. That's evident. He knows that. But he's stuck with it. And it doesn't mean it'll be forever. We'll see kind of how the season shakes out. But, more than anything, we're just excited that he had the game that he deserved to have.
What did you see from Kwani in the gym? Where you touched a little about him going in and working and shooting after games and things like. Where does that come from? Have you been able to kind of just sit back and see where that work ethic is coming from for him?
Yeah, I think his parents, certainly, his coaches that he's had over the years. He had a great coach at Cal. They didn't have a great season last year, but Mark Fox is an awesome coach. He just trained him, extremely well. And I think, at a young age, he had great coaches and great mentors. And, he learned, throughout his career that, things aren't just going to happen for you. It takes hard work and perseverance. And, by no means is he sitting here saying he's got everything figured out, nor do we, right? Just because of one result. It's about consistency and doing things over and over again. And that's where the work ethic comes from, and that's why he was able to have the success that he, had today. And so he's got to continue to do it, right? And we all do.
They hung around there for a little bit, but a few minutes into the second half, it seemed like you guys found another gear. What'd you see in that sequence? You guys were able to really separate?
Certainly, they're a good team. I mean, they've done that with every team they've played. I mean, they've gone into like a ton of great programs, gyms, right, and arenas. Michigan State, Clemson. I mean, they were in it with Arkansas and at UAB. They're up 20-5 to start the game at UAB, and so we, obviously show everyone the proper respect, but they've traveled everywhere. I mean, they don't play at home until January something, later in January or something like that. I mean, it's crazy. And so, credit to those kids and their coaching staff and for being ready every game and competing. And I thought they were today. They lost a couple of guys. A guy gets hurt, at the beginning of the game, and they kept playing. And that speaks to their coach and their staff and the commitment that they have to those kids and the toughness that they have. And they were fighting their way into the lane, late in that half. And two was dropping it off, and they were finding layups, and it was a problem for us. And so the first thing we talked to our guys about at halftime was keeping our chest in front and not getting beat and not getting edged. When you do get edged, the early help has to come, and the seal downs have to happen. And I thought for the most part, we got several steals in that situation. We contested a lot more shots in the first half where they were having to shoot over our length. We certainly had a size advantage. And I thought we were able to kind of begin to get stops, which helped our offense. We've worked a ton over the last week and a half, since we got back from Orlando on our transition offense. And when we can get stops and we can run like we did today and get clean looks, we certainly want to do that. That's one thing that if you're struggling scoring, you want to try to get stops and then pick it up in transition as long as you take care of the ball, because that's when the defense is at its most weak point. And I thought our guys did a nice job of that today. They were committed to sprinting. We haven't always been like Norfolk State. We didn't sprint in that game. Memphis, a little bit better. Today, a lot better. Getting up the court and getting some easy ones.
What were you able to do to kind of neutralize Joshua this afternoon?
I think just Zeb ended up guarding him in the second half, right? And I think bigger body began to just try to stay in front, a little bit better. They were setting that outside ball screen in the first half, and we had planned to trap it. And he's so fast, he edged it, every time they ran that play. And he got down on the baseline, and then they had guys cutting, and then they were getting some easy layups. I think it happened like 4 times, on us before we could get it fixed. And then the second half, we were able to do a little bit better. And then Kendall's a tough player to guard too. We were doubling him early in the game, and then they began to move him around in some different spots up near the elbow where we couldn't really double him, as easily. And so, I think the biggest thing was just trying to stay in front more than anything. Use our length.
I apologize if this was asked before I got here, but again, the activity of Toby today.
Toby's tremendous. Like, I was talking on the post-game radio. I mean, he obviously is a great athlete, right? And he uses it really well. But I like how tough he is. He's had multiple, both offense and defense, where he has no business getting the rebound. And he doesn't foul and come over the back, right? And he just goes up and he just snatches it. But he's not weak with the ball. Like, he's willing to fight you, whoever you are, right, for the ball. And that's going to benefit VCU. I know that for a fact. He came out of nowhere on defensive rebounding in that second half and got quite a few.
Given the size advantage, I think coming into the game, you might think a lot of the points would have come from inside. You guys hit 17 threes.
Yeah.
Were they just packing the paint?
They were packing it,
yeah.
And we got some easy ones, in Trent, not easy ones, but open ones, right? You have to make them. We found some open ones in transition, and I think the right guys shooting too, can be part of it. And obviously Kwani became, one of those guys tonight, and even Michael, made one there at the end, so that was good to see. But we still had some guys faking out there. There was some, should I shoot this? Should I not? And they have to settle into it. They have to settle into it, because you don't want to be totally one-dimensional in a game, and you're going to try to find the layups, find the easy twos when teams are packing it like that.
Anything else?
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.